everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Paula with Paula's Imperfect Plans. On this channel, I show my personal planning and budgeting journeys as a wife, a mother, a farmer, and a professional in a nonprofit, and what I utilize to help me to be efficient and effective in all those areas of my life. If that sounds like something that you might relate to, or just enjoy watching my chaos as I attempt to figure my life out, then please like, comment, and subscribe. So I'm back with you today, and did I change something in my system again? Yes, I did. Why? Why did you do that, Paula? Well, let's talk about it. So if you're not new here, thanks for coming back, and you know that this is my budget setup. And so you know that I've been in this for, since the second paycheck in February. So a lot of the year thus far. I love it. I have it set up well. What I'm doing is working very well. So why are we here talking about it? We are here talking about it because I don't feel like I have enough room. I'm not having enough room to lay out everything that I need. I guess I've just got as I add sinking funds and variable cash spending, and as I figure out how to do all of this, I'm feeling very cramped for room on this 7x9 page. On my notes page, the things that I keep track of are getting to be bigger as I'm tracking my spending, as I'm using my credit card like a debit card and keeping track of everything that I spend. That list and section is getting longer. And as I add more sinking funds, that section is getting longer. So I'm also feeling the crunch on my notes page. And on my expense tracker, the first two pay periods that I tracked in here, the 2 pages that I gave myself were enough. The first 2 pay periods that I did this, I had plenty of room. The pay period that we're in, we are at Saturday. So I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have 5 more days left. I don't plan on spending much more money, but that I just feel cramped in the 7x9 size. But the way that I have this set up, I have this set up all the way to the last paycheck of the year. It's set to be right here. And then it goes into my debt tracker, my emergency fund, and then into my sinking funds. I don't have any extra pages and any extra room. So, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna buy something different? What am I gonna do? Well, I purchased this. It is an 8.5 by 11 Erin Condren monthly planner. I purchased it when 2023 dated planners were 60% off this year, with the intention of redating it, which I started to do on 2 of the months, to use as my budget planner in 2024. So I redated the months of March and April with a kit that I got from Plannercade on sale, 50% off, to redate this to be able to use it in 2024. And I was looking at it the other day as I was what am I going to do? Am I going to buy something new? Am I going to try a new budget book? Am I going to make myself stay in the 7x9? Knowing that I love it, I do love it. The system itself is working, I just don't have enough room. Then I'm what are my options? So I go on and on. Another thing that I forgot to mention, I do a lot of being in this book and flipping the pages. And the notebook, so it's not a planner, it's a notebook, and the notebook has perforated pages, which sounds super convenient, but what's happening is I'm ripping the perforation I've taped all of the bottom of these pages. So again, none of that is a big deal, but a lot of my pages are struggling to stay in because I am in this book a lot. So I opened this up yesterday. I already have 2 months redated for 2024, which isn't a problem because we are past March and April of 2023 anyway. I struggle to jump into a planner to something like this mid-year. I'm struggling a little bit with just the academic year of my life planner that I started. I got a July start planner, but then I redated May and June at the end of it to start kind of at the end and then work back around to the beginning. Like, that's all messing with my brain, which none of that is a big deal. But, so here we are. Excuse me. So for June of 23, which is just here in a couple days, like this is tomorrow when I'm filming this. So we're coming right up on the closeout of my current paycheck, which is still in May, and my next paycheck start, is on this day. So we just have to finish out a few more days of my current paycheck. So I'm gonna hop in here, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna try it. I've never used a monthly spread for budgeting before. I started by putting my key on here that I've been using for tracking expenses. I will see how that goes, putting those expenses on the calendar. Like, I'm not sure yet. I do first have my paydays because I think that's the biggest thing that I need a calendar for. So that's where I'm at with the monthly so far. I at least have a constant key. So then I flipped over, and as it so happens, I think this monthly planner is going to work out really well. My biggest concern about this planner is with magic months, which are only 2 months out of the year, and I think I can make it work. But June, happens to be one of those magic months where I have to fit 3 paycheck budgets in these sections. So what I've done is I've taken the June 2nd budget, which is right here all laid out. It's exactly like it was in here when I did my paycheck budget setup for that paycheck. I did it in here, the video. I filmed the video out of there, and it's the same thing. I just copied it in here. So I probably won't even redo the video. There's a section down here at the bottom where I have a list of all the cash amounts that I need to take out, so that'll be my note for what my cash needs to look like. I moved over to this page, and I was trying to decide how to use this to the best of my ability. With this paycheck, I really don't have a spot for like my notes page in this notebook when I need all 3 paycheck budgets. So I took the dot grid section, divided it by 3, and this is 6/2, 6/16, and 6/30. This is where I'm going to keep track of all the sinking funds that have to go in and out, so I know for each paycheck what I need to transfer to my sinking funds or from my sinking funds back into my checking account to pay my bills. These 2 boxes, I have done it because I can come back and do like totaling up for first paycheck and second paycheck what how much I spent in each of my categories with my expense tracking. So that's what I use those 2 squares for. And then on here, so I'm still trying to decide. I put credit card transactions because for each paycheck budget, I've got like how much cash I'm going to take out, how much needs to go to and from my sinking funds, and what needs to go on my credit card. Because I'm now using my credit card like a debit card, I write down everything that I put, since I paid my credit card off, I write down everything that I put on the credit card and I subtract it out of my checking account balance, and I am transferring that money from my checking account to my credit card. I am using it 100% like a debit card, like it's coming right out of my checking account. So I thought about doing a list of all my credit card transactions on here as a reminder that I need to transfer them. So the problem that I have with using my credit card as a debit card is it seems like it takes so long for things to post to my credit card that it's maybe 4 or 5 days after I make the purchase before I can actually transfer the money, because it will not let me post a payment that is larger than my current balance. So essentially, now that I'm using it as a debit card, or that I don't carry a balance at all on my credit card, the amount is too low. So I have to wait until all those transactions post and are not pending anymore before I can make that payment. So this would be a place where I could make a list of credit card transactions for the month that I need to put back on the card, for money that I need to put back on the card. That was my original thought. So it was like cash, sinking funds, credit card. But if I'm using this for the whole month, that's not going to be enough room, I don't think. I mean, maybe, but I write kind of big, especially when I'm not given lines for guidance. Or I thought I could come back, now that I'm looking at it, I could put my third paychecks like closeout section here. So essentially another one of these in this spot. Because then I go on and have 2 pages of expense trackers. And even I have 2 pages of expense trackers in here, but I counted, and moving it to here will give me 9 additional lines per page. So I'll have room for 18 more transactions than what I currently do. And if that's not enough, I need to quit spending money. Then move on. This is my June 16th budget. I just went through to lay out the whole month just to get it set up and ready to go. So this is my June 16 budget overview. These are 1 and 2 pages of expense trackers, and then my June 30th paycheck and the 2 expense trackers for that paycheck. And then I have 1 page left. So now that I'm looking at this more, I think what's going to go here is my, like this, another closeout where I can total up the money spent in each category for the 3rd paycheck. And then I will probably come back here, and this will be my list of credit card transactions. It's a reminder of money that I need to transfer from my checking account to my credit card. So that list could be there. So that is how I currently have the month set up here. That's where I'm at for the month of June. So that is my thought. I'm excited about it. I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be perfect. I still have, my really great like sinking fund set up in this little book that I don't necessarily want to change. So just because I bought stickers for all of it. But so I'll see if I end up just keeping the sinking funds in here or if I move them over. Know that I did when I was planning to do this, use this for 2024. I think most of my December paychecks, I used most of these pages, but I was planning on splitting the page vertically and then having a sinking fund here and a sinking fund here. I took some dot grid, 8.5 by 11 dot grid from the first budgeting notebook I had for the year that I tore apart. I covered the heritage awareness pages, and I was going to do, again, sinking fund 3 and 4. This was my 2024 like year at a glance perpetual calendar, or year at a glance. Then I was going to do 5, 6, 7, and 8 with my sinking funds. And then this was like the last page, like it's the purple color, so it was decorated, but that'd be 9 and 10 for sinking funds. I also had, just in case I needed more sinking fund things, I had 4 spots at the front as well. This was a 2023 calendar at a glance, so I could split that in half again like this, because all I do is, as I've shown before, is the categories at the top. I would say preschool tuition, date, amount plus or amount minus, ending balance. So plenty of room, half of that page vertically, to do them all like this. So I would have sinking funds divided between the beginning and the end page, which is okay. And then this goal is a dream with a deadline. I hadn't done, excuse me. Need a drink. A whole lot of planning on what this would look like. But I had some thoughts about bigger, this would be a good place to track when larger expenses are due, property taxes, vehicle registration, vehicle insurance, any subscriptions that come out yearly. So any of those expenses essentially that I pay quarterly or less frequently. I'm here trying to decide if I need highlighter on here, if I can just write. Sorry, I took the video off here for a second while I wrote this stuff because I had kids running in and out and I was going to do a voiceover, but they're gone now. So I just put each of the months starting in June, since that's when I'm starting this, and I put anything that would be a bigger expense for each of those months. So it's got things like vehicle registration and car insurance like we talked about. It also has my birthday and Mother's Day because those are both in May, obviously. Yearly subscription, yearly time to negotiate the price on that. Christmas and Halloween. I don't know off the top of my head when Easter is in 2024. I can find out though. Easter is March 31st, so March is Easter. The reason that would be a larger expense is if we do Easter baskets, Easter egg hunts, that would be something potentially to save up for, Easter outfits for my kids, Christmas for obvious reasons. I put the months of each of my children's birthdays, back to school, Halloween for the purpose of costumes, Grandparents' Day, my husband's birthday, his vehicle registration payments, 4th of July. Like, we don't do like, I can't think of, other than like cute festive outfits and attending like my brother's birthday is the 4th of July, so we always have a 4th of July celebration and celebrate his birthday. Not that that would be a big expense for us, but I just put it down in case. Father's Day, my Google storage will be due yearly, like back to school, and our wedding anniversary. So those would be the biggest things that I could potentially think of. Like, not that we do a lot for any of those holidays, other than like Easter for my kids, Christmas for our family, and Halloween for costumes. But I did want to get all those bigger things on there just to map out that would potentially be a way that I would look at my sinking funds going forward. So that is kind of how I'm setting this up initially to jump in here in the next week going into June. I'm excited to try it. It feels so big to me, but I am excited. Actually, when I bought it with the intention of putting this cover on it, which I bought and personalized with a notebook not a while ago, but I had an 8.5 by 11 dot grid notebook when there was some kind of a sale with Erin Condren to try them. And that's what I originally had my budget book in for the year. And then I set that up and realized I got way ahead of myself and set too much stuff up, and I didn't have enough room, and I didn't like how I had done it. So I was like, oh well, like I tore it apart. I, shredded it and started over. Like, I used to be a person who was like, no, I must use this all the way through to the end because I cannot be wasteful of something I've already purchased. And while I still do value that, and I feel that way about a lot of things, I don't feel as though, first of all, I love budgeting, and second of all, budgeting, at least the bill paying portion, is super important to continue on a financial journey. And so if I'm using a tool that I don't feel like is working for me, I don't know that it is wise to stay in it. I didn't spend any money up front to do this switch. I had already purchased this heavily discounted. Like I said, 60% off. And then I also had a 20% off coupon on top of that at the time, heavily discounted, because I was going to use it for next year, because that's just kind of how I plan and how I shop. So starting it this year, I didn't spend any money last night when I decided to totally switch over, kind of sort of out of the blue. It just means that now I'll get next year through about half the year, 5 months in, and then I'll have to pick something different at that time, which might be a good time to change to, I keep looking at, not like the different budgeting books that people have that would be similar to like the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook, but that kind of have it all lined up already. The reason that I went with doing my own in the past, trying to find a way how I liked to do my own, was because I was so discontent with what I had been doing for the last few years, and I wasn't finding something that I thought worked super well for me, so I wanted to change that. So anyway, that is what I have for today. This is my setup at this point. You will see me in here starting next week working on, I think I am going to set this box up to look like these two just for Paycheck 3. And you'll see me in here setting up, budgeting for this week. So until then, guys, have a great day. See you next time.